Thank you for coming to PowerPoint training. We are just kidding. I'm just kidding about that. DocuSign. This is DocuSign. And we're excited about it. So my name is Greg Brandenburg. I'm Executive Director of Enterprise Technology. Brian Cross is with us. He's our systems analyst. He is the architect of our e-signing. And we're excited to have you. We're excited about this product. As you know by now, DocuSign is replacing Right Signature. And so a little bit about that, because we didn't live with Right Signature for long. Right Signature, you remember the red folder project, what that was about? So the president was getting tired of every morning he came in, he had this red folder on his desk with paper that he needed to sign. And so he, by the end of the day, had taken care of the red folder only to come back the next day and have a red folder that was full again. And so he inquired about e-signing. And so we already had a relationship with a company called Citrix for our virtual stuff, and Citrix had a product called Right Signature. And so it was a very quick implementation for us to get Right Signature engaged and to get e-signing for the president that way. So it was quick ramp up, it was cost effective, and we got e-signing for the president, and he was happy, all was good. He was sending out documents to other people and they were e-signing, and then they started to say, hey, this is pretty cool. We could use this. Plus, we could also do X, Y, and Z. And so we call that in IT, we call that feature creep. So we get a lot of requests for other things for the product to do. And so what we found as we continued with Right Signature is we ran into some issues that Right Signature couldn't do some things that departments wanted to do. So we did some research and found DocuSign. DocuSign's used by a lot of other UT institutions. DocuSign is a product that will allow us to do some of those other things we discovered in the process of engaging in e-signing. As you'll see, there's some great features to it, some things that we'll be able to do that I think you'll be happy with. So with all of that, I'm going to turn it over to Brian. He's going to do the presentation about DocuSign. At the end, we'll have time for questions and answers. So if you'll hold your questions to the end, and we'll get them covered. So here's Brian.
Good deal. So I'm going to show you the always exciting leave request. I've got 3 different windows open here, all 3, one for the employee, one for the supervisor, and then one for the admin assistant. So I'm going to show you kind of the process all the way through and show you where that's changed as far as DocuSign versus Right Signature. Some of the improvements, vast improvements that we have now. So just going to jump right in with my employee user. So on the home screen, this is the first thing you'll see when you log into DocuSign. If you notice, just see what's going on. If you notice here, there's an overview. So there's action required, waiting on others, expiring soon, completed. So there's good information right on the first page. So you can see anything that you need to do or that you're waiting on from other people. I'm going to go straight to templates. And then under my templates, you won't have anything, but under shared folders, you'll be able to see folders for templates. So these are templates that departments have uploaded. You may see yours here. If you'd like to see yours here, let us know. But these, all are pertaining to different departments. So click on Human Resources. The search also works very well. Leave request form is here. So I'm going to click Use on that. And it brings me to this. This should be fairly familiar from Right Signature. And this all auto-populates. I don't need budget authority, so there's an X. To remove budget authority, it'll tell me there's 2 assigned fields. So I just delete that, do the same thing for vice president, for president, my admin assistant, and then I don't need HR because this is not an FMLA leave request. If you add more information here to the message, so the please DocuSign leave request down there, if you change that, maybe add a date or change it to sick leave, that information will be searchable. So when you go back to search for documents, same thing applied for right signature. When you change the title of your right signature document, you were able to search it a little bit easier. So it's not just a bunch of leave requests all in a folder. And then these advanced options, if you need to change any of this, you'll have to click Advanced Edit, which should be very rare. And so under Advanced Edit, you can change these options. So this is sign on paper, change signing responsibility, automatic reminders. You shouldn't really change these on templates all that often. But if you're doing one-off documents, which I'll show you later, these may be a little bit more applicable to you. So again, expiration date, warn signage before expiration, those kind of settings are all there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. This is where if you are filling this out for someone else, on behalf of them, you can go ahead and fill in some of these. So like for the date, I'm going to go ahead and fill in 5/14/2018. And so you can autofill any of these by clicking on them and then adding text. The radio buttons are under radio button values, and you can check whichever one needs to be checked. So if you're filling that out for somebody else, then that's where you would do that. So I'm going to go ahead and send it to myself for signing. It will then ask you if you want to sign now, which I do. I also received an email to sign this, this leave request. And so you can manage this in your email as well as in DocuSign directly. So allow location access. You don't have to do that if you don't want DocuSign to know where you are. Click continue, and then you'll just fill this out as you normally would. I actually have an impl here. So one of the cool things we can do with DocuSign is, based on a selection, we can make changes to the requirements of the document. So for instance, jury duty, notice another attachment field showed up that's required. So if there are attachments required, we can make sure that you don't forget those attachments. So I'm going to attach my jury duty document. These attachments actually become part of the workflow, and whoever is signing later will be able to see those documents within the workflow. If any of you have ever worked with attachments in right signature, it was difficult at best to work with. So these become sort of first-class citizens in the document workflow. Much easier to work with and see, and especially for financial services like the credit card or the Pro card. Thank you. The Pro card document with all the receipts and attachments and stuff that went along with that. We were unable to do that in right signature, and now we are able to do it because it's all within the document. So I'll be typing 8 hours. So when you click sign for the first time, you'll see this. You can change your name and initials if you'd like to, if it's different than what we have provided DocuSign. These are the DocuSign typed signatures, if you will. Right signature had a typed signature. DocuSign just types it for you based on your name and initials. You can also draw if you'd like on a tablet device. I'm just going to select that one. Adopt and sign. No for FMLA. And that's it. Finish. This takes me back to my DocuSign inbox. So in right signature, there was a giant list of documents that you had ever been involved in. DocuSign has an inbox. It has folders. It has quick views. So if you would like to organize things, you can make folders. You can make subfolders. You can get very organized with this. You could potentially turn off all email notifications. So if you click on the person and go to My Preferences, you can change a lot of stuff in here, including your signature. So if you need to edit it, it's right there. But under notifications, it's very fine-grained as to what you can change. So come in here, we didn't want to make any assumptions as to what you wanted or did not want to be notified about via email. If you want to manage the entire DocuSign workflow in your email, you can do that. So we didn't uncheck any of these for you. So come in here, uncheck, check, do whatever you need to do in here. But I highly encourage you to go in here and mess with these. Yes, notifications. If you have a high volume of requests coming through, if you're an admin assistant and you're doing a bunch of leave requests all the time, or a bunch of every kind of request, because admin assistants do everything, then you may want to turn all of this off just so you don't get so many emails and manage it all within your DocuSign inbox. So that may be beneficial. So I'm going to switch over to my manager. And so when my manager goes into DocuSign, you see there's an action required under overview, and I received an email as well. So here's this leave request in my inbox. So I can go to sign it, allow location access, continue. I approve it, I sign it, adopt a signature. It's all the same thing we just did, and click finish. So this can go very, very, very quickly. And so notice the action required quick view is gone now. So if I go to my inbox, I can see it from there. And then if I go to my admin assistant and go to manage, refresh the page. So I've gotten an email as well here. And there's the action required. So let's say, because in PeopleSoft, you can't put in leave requests until the month that they're taken in. And so you'll have leave requests all the way to December that people are putting in now. So if you need to organize that kind of stuff, you can make folders for that, right? So you could make pending leave 718, something like that, and then just drag and drop this leave request in there. And that way every month, so 7/1/18, whatever Monday that is, you can go into that folder, complete all of those documents in PeopleSoft, and you're done. So, and that's just an example workflow. So I'm going to sign this as my admin assistant. Sign here, adopt and sign, and finish. And that's it. So fairly similar to Right Signature. It's not necessarily a paradigm shift. It's all e-signing. But you can see there are some features here that address a lot of the pain points we saw with Right Signature. I'm going to go quickly through a one-off document. So I know the President's Office especially would scan documents in and then upload them into Right Signature to be signed. So DocuSign has the same concept. So you send an envelope. Envelopes are exactly what you would think they would be. So like a manila envelope that you would put documents and supporting documentation inside, send it interoffice mail to someone for them to sign or fill out or what have you, and then send back to you or send to somebody else. That physical workflow is mirrored here. So you have an envelope, so you would attach documents, supporting documentation, that kind of thing, all right here into this envelope. So I'm going to upload my document. I'm going to add myself, my manager. So this set signing order checkbox, you may have seen this in Right Signature if you've ever done this before. So if you check this, you have this creates a workflow where the first person has to sign it, then the second person, then the third. It's sequential signing. DocuSign allows you to create parallel signing sections. And so all you have to do is change the number to the same number as someone else, and they will then sign in parallel while the first person signs sequentially. This can be, if you're going to have 10, 15 signers on a document, that can get really cumbersome to look at in this format. If you click on signing order, you'll see a diagram. So you'll see the sender, which is me, the first signer is me, and then the second signer is both Harry and Lors. And so both of those would sign at the same time. So let's say you needed to sign something, fill some information out, have 10 students sign. You can have them all sign at once. Once all 10 are done, it then goes to another person to approve all those signatures and get all the other information. And then it's completed. So you can go parallel, you can go multiple parallel if you want to. You can have 5 people sign and then have 15 people sign and then 5 more, and it's sky's the limit. So, and then that updates live as well. I'm going to remove .docx from the message. It just makes it look cleaner. Click next. So from here you can drop, and this is the same thing as in Write Signature, you can drop text boxes and add text. You can add radio buttons. You can do everything you need to do to make sure that to get the form filled out, even if the form wasn't filled out previously. Of course, I could have done this in Word. This is just a good example. Name will autofill with the signer's name. And so they don't actually have to fill that out. You can just assign it. Again, the assigning is over here in recipient. You can change that to be that person, and it will be their full name typed out on that line. Just reduces the amount of stuff people have to type. Drop a couple of signature fields. None of this is lined up, but I will deal with that in therapy. So everything's assigned correctly. So I've got everything assigned to the right recipient. Again, color coded, so yellow and blue, that kind of thing. And then click send. When I go to sign now, because I've adopted that signature before, I click and it's signed. That's it. If it's something you have to sign, there should be 3 clicks. Continue, sign it, finish. That's it. And then, of course, over to the manager. Continue, sign, finish. That's it. So this is available right now for any documents you see in templates. These have all been approved by their respective departments. So you are free to use any of those templates that are available there. We have a specific development environment that is hidden from this environment. So any templates in here have been vetted by us and approved by the department, and everyone's happy with them. So anything you see in here is free game. So, and if you don't see something in here for your department and you would like to see it, please let us know. We have template training next Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
Let
me look.
At a certain time. We will be in USC. It's web-based, so we'll have a WebEx link that we'll send out. But we will also be in USC 117.
118.
118. Thank you. Not Greg's office.
117.
Yes. So we'll be in USC 118 as well at that time. So if you'd like to know how to make templates and
3
do all
p.m.
that. Sorry,
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Tuesday next week.
Yep. So we'll have template training then. So if you'd like to see how to make some of these templates and how to do some of this stuff, then definitely attend that. So questions, comments?
There's a Zoom. Can we copy a template from one folder to another? Example, copy the leave form to our department's folder so we don't have to look too hard for it.
Great question. You cannot touch templates. You can't delete them. You can't edit them. You can't do anything with them but use them. That's one thing that happened a lot with Right Signature. That was a big problem. So no, we can't copy. We can't move. So we can't do any of that kind of stuff. We can't move or change or any of that. You can, however, HR will update their links on their websites to on their website to that document to be this link here. If you bookmark the page for that form, then you can go straight to that template. And that's not a problem. That won't change except for extenuating circumstances. And you can just go and bookmark it again if it changes. So.
In Right Signature, we used to be able to copy somebody on a form, like a leave form, but they didn't really have to sign it. Is there a way we can copy somebody on it, but not have them sign it?
Yes, so you have to go to Advanced Edit once you're using the template, and you can add a recipient, and there's a drop down for a bunch of other options as well. So you can add them as an in-person signer, you can add them as a needs to view, all of this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of options here. One of them is receives a copy. So this question mark up at the top is very, very useful. That's actually contextual. So depending on where you are in DocuSign, it will take you to the proper help document. So if I click that now, it'll take me to the proper, and then I can click on add recipients, and you can get details about what all of these mean. So if you ever have a question, definitely click on that question mark first. It doesn't take you to a generic help page. It takes you directly to a useful help document. So, but yes, short answer, yes, there is a copy.
So the question here is, where are these templates and how do I get to them?
So that's true. I didn't show you at first how to get to DocuSign. So if you go to DocuSign.com, you can click login there. We also have a link on the UT Tyler website. Under the login, it has replaced Right Signature. So, yep. Yes. Oh, Steve's got.
So right now in Right Signature, we send out documents for people to sign, to fill out observation forms. And so they go to all, the student and the teacher, whatever. But I get an email for every one of those 30 that go out that says it has been signed or needs to be signed. Is that going to be the same thing in DocuSign?
Because you initiated it, yes. But you started it for someone else, right? You're not involved in it in any way. Sorry. I guess.
So the supervisor sends them out to the director sends them out to the supervisor and to the student. I'm the administrative assistant. I get them so that I can file them. Mm-hmm. So they come to me in the end. That's all.
Yes. So you will get an email unless you go to My Preferences and then Notifications, and you can uncheck your recipient. So there are any number of checkboxes here that will help with that amount of email. So absolutely, if you have a high volume of envelopes being passed through your account, certainly go in here and change these so that your inbox isn't getting flooded. Absolutely. Yes.
If you've completed a form and realized that you've made a mistake, is there a way to retrieve it and correct it? Or if you've sent it to the wrong person, can you reroute it?
Are you a plant? Great question.
Thank you for that question.
You absolutely can. You can go back and correct a document. If it's already been completed, it can't be corrected because it's been completed. So, but that correct button will go into a correcting mode and you'll be able to re-edit the document. You can also add comments. It's not turned on in this environment yet. It's turned on in our development environment. We've requested that it be turned on here, but there'll be a comments button at the top of, let me fly through this real quick. There'll be a comments button at the top of the signing page. That you can add comments and send back to someone, so you don't have to communicate with them outside of DocuSign. You can communicate with them inside DocuSign and it can go back and forth. So all from within DocuSign, right here, sorry. So there'll be a comments button there. Yes. So as a manager, if you're looking at a document, you can add a comment and they will be notified that you commented on it. They can read the comment and then correct the document and it will go back to you for signing after that. So it can bounce back and forth as many times as it needs to until it's right, which we had a question in the first session. Should I sign it and then ask them to correct it? No, you should not. So don't sign it until it looks correct to you. Add a comment and pass it back to them. Yes.
Which, as you remember with right signature, you couldn't do that. You just had to void the document and start over.
Yeah, you get to the last person in the signing order, they have a problem with it, and the whole thing's voided. That's not the case anymore. Anyone can correct.
And you also asked about redirect, which you can redirect a document.
Yes, so under other actions, you can assign to someone else. So if there's someone else, if you're on vacation and you need to assign it to someone else, then you can reroute it. There's also the concept, the other thing that helps with that, there's the concept of signing groups in DocuSign so that you have a pool of signers. So if there's a line and for instance, HR uses this. If all you need is an HR signature, you don't really care if it's Casey or Taylor, then you can create a signing group for them. They both get an email simultaneously. Whoever picks it up first gets to sign it. And so if you need everybody to get an email and then one person to sign it, that's a possibility as well.
And this may be a question for legal, but now that we're using DocuSign, are we going to accept external people who send us DocuSign? Because in the past, when we've had agreements sent, they will not accept DocuSign.
Legal still does not e-sign documents. We had to paper sign our DocuSign agreement. So yes. And that's not a knock on them. I mean, there's a lot of legal ramifications to e-signing. DocuSign has done a good job at covering those, but it takes time to move that kind of legal ship. So.
Can you add a document to something that's been sent to you initiated by someone else? Can purchasing attach documents to, it was sent to purchasing, but we need to add documents to that because in right signature, you cannot do that.
More than likely, you would need to use an attachment. Because if you're just a signer in it, you can't add documents. So you would need to have an attachment field already on the document that you're signing. So, but if there,
we can attach.
Yes. So you would add to the purchasing user or signing group for purchasing for sure. Then you would add an attachment field and you'd be able to attach documents. Those documents, as in this one that got completed, the leave request, the documents become first class document within the document workflow. So they are not just attached anymore. They are actually part of the workflow, and people can see them. Everyone can see them as they're signing the document. They don't have to go back into a document list. So if you remember Right Signature, the way that worked, you had to go back into document list, click on the document, and click on the attachment. That's not the case anymore. It's all just within the workflow.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, and then another question is, you got the email, but you were clicking out of it and going into DocuSign to view it. Can you go through your email
Yes.
to view the document and the attachment?
Yes, you can. You can do every bit of DocuSign management within email. You absolutely can. So there's review document here. But you can see how many emails I got from just one document.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said definitely go in there and call.
So does it allow you going through your email to actually view the attachments? Because in Right Signature, that was
yes, yeah, because
not
it's part of the signing workflow. That document that was attached is part of the signing workflow.
okay.
So it's just another page. That's all.
Okay.
It appends pages, and it's all part of the thing. Yes. I know that's huge for what. Yes.
Outstanding questions. All right, we got more.
Any idea on the anticipation of e-form taking the leave requests?
You mean UT Share, e-form, leave requests, that whole?
We don't know a timeline.
We don't know a timeline, and some of it's kind of lore. I've heard multiple. No, sorry.
It's coming.
No comment.
It's coming.
We've heard multiple things on that about what will be required to be uploaded into PeopleSoft for that to happen. So, yeah. No idea at this time.
Okay, going back to I know we can correct the document, but if the document has been signed, then we can't correct it. So can we then void the document or, start over kind of thing?
Yes, you can. And that's within your inbox, and you can void right here. Yep, that arrow has a lot of options under it. So export, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So
Once signed, a signer can void it.
yes, once signed.
That's when you get into contract stuff where,
Yes.
hey, you signed it.
Right. So definitely make sure that it's correct before you sign it.
Yeah.
That would apply to paper as well, because yes, you can't void it after it's been completed.
Yeah.
Yes. You cannot void it after that. It's been
So
completed.
It's a legal
all been
document
signed.
that is signed.
Yeah, it is part of record, that kind of thing.
Ta-da! That's just for you.
Yeah. Yes.
You can supersede, you do the whole legal, this supersedes that thing. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Can student workers use the same timesheet document as before for for signatures, or do they need to use a different template?
I don't remember there being a template for timesheets. If there was, I wasn't aware of it. And if it's not there, tell us and we'll move it. But yes, they'll use the same Excel document, whatever they're using, fill it out, and then upload it to DocuSign. That's one of the ones we're working on. DocuSign has the ability to do calculated fields, so we can actually add up a row of numbers and to equal another number. And so we should be able theoretically to do timesheets within DocuSign and not do Excel. So we're looking into that.
DocuSign also gives us what's called an API, which means we can program against the interface. So we're working, one of HR's requests with the leave was, could we make it to where when someone submits a leave request that all the fields are pre-populated, because we know you've signed in, we know who you are, so we can pre-populate a lot of those fields. And so coming very soon is a leave form that you would that you would fill out through Help Now, through our ServiceNow interface. And when you're in there, you've signed in, so when you bring up the form, it'll have pre-populated the fields. And then when you click send, it'll route it through DocuSign like any other leave form. So pre-populating so you don't have to fill in all that. So
Yeah, it knows your manager and your admin assistant. It knows your MPOL, your name, everything. So it pre-populates the whole thing for you. You just need to tell it what kind of leave and times and dates, and that's it. So that's coming soon.
this is live now. Again, these templates are available. Brian showed you how to get there. We do have template training, so if you're interested in learning how to create these templates and forms for your department, then come to template training Tuesday. I think we sent out a sign-up sheet that went out. We're doing that. There's a WebEx, so you can do it from the comfort of your own office, but we also have in the USC building a training room, 118, or if you wanted to come and join other people physically present, then, so we can talk about it as we go, you can come and join us over there as well. So, any other questions?
Next Tuesday. Yeah,
Next
the training
week,
is next Tuesday.
will be the template training for template creators. Oh, we didn't tell them about web forms. The power forms.
Power forms. So one of the things we were always asked for with Right Signature is the ability for students to go to a website and fill out a form and that kick off a workflow. That's now possible in DocuSign. It's called a power form. And so we can create a web form that's available to the general public, like to the internet. And someone can go fill out that form and click submit. And that doesn't just sign it. That actually kicks off an internal workflow. Right Signature, it would just sign it and send it back. And it was kind of useless for our purposes. This will actually kick off an internal workflow so the student can fill out.
Don't say grade change.
Don't say grade change.
I made that mistake the first session.
Yeah.
Students don't do grade changes.
No.
They'd like to.
Yeah. Student affairs nearly, yeah.
Yeah, they told us that was probably not a good idea.
But they'll be able to fill out a form and that kicks off an internal workflow. So change of major.
Yeah.
Change of major. So they'll be able to fill out a change of major form on a website, click send, and that kicks off all the internal workflow that needs to happen for that. So you never have to send them another change of major. You don't have to worry about it. You tell them to go to this website and do it yourself. So
we've already talked to some departments that have some crazy workflow that they're doing manually, and we're going to work with them with DocuSign to help them with that. It's going to save a bunch of time.
You can do bulk upload. So if you have a bunch of recipients you need to send to, you can use a template, do a bulk upload of a CSV for all the information that you can fill out, and then send it to all those recipients automatically. So there's all kinds of automation stuff that we can set up for you guys and make it to where everything is easier. So
does it sound easier? What do you think? Sound good? All right. I think you're really going to like it.
And when we said no with Right Signature before, the answer now is probably yes. So if we ever told you no on a template, please come back. We can probably do it with this.
There's one more
Another
question on Zoom. We make our employees rename their leave requests with their name and date of their absence. Can you do this? Also, can you download the document to save it to a folder on the U drive?
Yes, when they're filling it out, have them put their name and date. That was when you're kicking off a template. Under advanced edit, at the bottom, this message to all recipients is the title of the request. And so you'll have them add their name and whatever date you need there. And that will be searchable. That's definitely a smart thing to do, just so it's not a bunch of leave requests sitting in your DocuSign inbox where you don't know which one's what. So although with the filtering, I will say this, in the inbox, if you go to search, you can search sent by me, and then in the date of custom. And so if you know when you sent the leave request, then you can filter it there. That can help, but it's still better just to have the date that you're looking for in the person in the title. So what was the, sorry, there was a second question. Yes, you can download completed documents. So if you go into a completed document, there's a download button right here. And you can download, there's multiple files, right? So the document, which it's 2 PDFs because it's the leave request and the supporting documentation, right? That's part of the whole document now. And there's the certificate of completion. So you'll be downloading 3 files, and that tells you that right here, but with all. You can check the box to combine it into one file for you. And so that will spit out the leave request, the jury duty PDF, and the certificate of completion, all as just different pages in one PDF. So again, there's so many options in this thing. It's hard to cover DocuSign as a whole.
You wanted to see something to get to
Yes.
The leave request, changing the title.
Yes, changing the name. When you're in templates and you click use, you have to click on advanced edit. And then scroll to the bottom, and there's message to all recipients. This is the document name. And so you'll change that to whatever you need it to be.
Anything else on Zoom? No? Any other questions? Again, this is live now. We have right signature and for 2 more weeks, and then it's dead.
Yep. Your right signature documents will show up in your P drive. We'll still be able to retrieve some of them, but right signature as far as signing documents is gone 5/25. So. Yes, any pending documents need to be recreated in DocuSign. So if anything's pending past 5/25, we're going to send an email out about that for sure. Any pending documents past 5/25 need to be resent through DocuSign. So if you have pending leave requests, is one of the biggest ones. Those will need to be resent through DocuSign, voided in right signature, and then resent this way. Yes.
When you say pending, does that mean that they've not been approved or they have been approved? You've just not taken them yet?
They've not been, the document has not been completed. So the admin assistant has not put it into PeopleSoft yet and signed that they have done so.
So I've not taken my leave yet.
Well, taken and document completed are, I would assume, different things. So it would be in right signature. Anything that's pending.
So one of the signers in the signing order hasn't signed it. It's pending.
Okay.
And it'll stay pending until it expires. So yeah, so if one of the signers in the signing order has not signed it, that document stays in a pending state. And this is the same with right signature. This will be the same in DocuSign. It stays in that pending state until they sign it or until it reaches the expiration time that was on the document. But if you have pending, and you can see in right signature what's pending, you can filter for that, see what's pending. And if you've got stuff that's pending still, you need to get that over to DocuSign.
Here's right signature. And there's a filter button over here when you're in your documents view. And you can filter by pending. I don't have any pending, so I'm good. But if you see anything in there that you know will not be signed until after 5/25, please resend it. Yep. Or resend it after 5/20. I mean, it's not, but you will have to resend it at some point.
If something's about to expire, do the earlier signers get notification? Or does it just expire and nobody knows about it?
Someone gets told. Someone does get told.
Are you speaking in right signature or DocuSign or both?
DocuSign, yeah.
Okay.
If right.
Yeah.
Or if it's set for, or if it's a leave request for December, and they can't put it in until December, and somebody's put it in now. I'm reading through this list.
You get notified with just about everything.
You really do.
So
yeah, when it gets voided, I mean, if it's about to be voided, there's a someone will be notified 3 days in advance is how the leave request is set. It won't void for 120 days. And then 3 days prior, someone will be notified, hey, this is about to expire. And my gut tells me it will probably be at least the person who started the document, if not everyone.
And if that administrative assistant is not available, then they would retrieve the document and reroute it to another administrator.
Yes. Yes, they would correct it, or the admin assistant would forward it. So it all depends. We can also do something called custody transfers. So if someone leaves and someone else takes their position, we can actually take every single DocuSign document assigned to them and just move it to the other person. Nope, we have to do that. That's definitely administrative.
Yes.
It does. You will get reminders. That's part of the template as well. But there is a remind button. There's also a resend button, which is useful. Forward. There's all kinds of buttons. There's lots
Yes,
of buttons.
you can remind them
Yes.
as often as you'd like to remind them.
Yep. Every minute.
All right. Well, good. I hope you like what you've seen. Appreciate you coming this afternoon. We'll be here in the front. If you have specific questions, again, start using it. It's available. And if you're going to create templates, come join us next week. And thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day.